If you know a single fact about lemmings, it is probably that they have a dark, unavoidable urge to migrate by the thousands, right off the edge of a cliff. Filmmakers for the 1958 Disney documentary, White Wilderness, entirely fabricated this iconic behavior to create a more compelling narrative for the screen. To get the shot, the production team bought lemmings from children, carted them to a cliff in Canada, and physically pushed them over the edge. This forced plummet illustrates a much wider issue. We have a habit of letting convenient fictions overwrite actual ecology. Our collective understanding of biology is packed with cartoonish simplicity. But stripping away these myths reveals an evolutionary reality that is far more impressive than the fake news. Think of the sound a frog makes. Chances are your brain immediately generated a classic Ribbit. Out of the thousands of frog species on Earth, practically none of them make that noise. Is unique to just a couple of species, like the Pacific tree frog and the Baja California chorus frog. The Ribbit became the universal frog call simply because early Hollywood sound engineers walked outside and recorded the amphibians native to their local California backyards, warping public perception for a century. This media distortion extends to cultural folklore, too. We are taught that a charging bull is enraged by the color red. Biologically, cattle are dichromats. They literally cannot perceive red as a bright and raging hue. The animal is actually reacting to the aggressive, sweeping motion of the cape, combined with the severe mental agitation and physical abuse it endures before stepping into the ring. Human convenience and spectacle have a bad habit of erasing actual physiological facts from our shared memory. We also tend to assign animals what amounts to cartoon anatomy, reducing complex evolutionary adaptations into simplistic mechanical superpowers. Take the camel. Because they navigate incredibly harsh desert environments, folklore insists their humps function as internal water tanks. In reality, the hump is a dense mound of fatty tissue used as a concentrated calorie reserve. When a camel drinks, that water is absorbed and stored directly in its bloodstream. Similarly, porcupines cannot shoot their quills like organic arrows. The quills only detach when the animal physically rams backward into an attacker. Then there is the persistent myth that snakes unhinge their jaws to swallow massive prey. In their actual skeletal anatomy, the lower jaw's posterior end contains a mobile quadrate bone. This allows extreme extension, while a flexible front ligament lets the jaw bow outward horizontally. This vastly increases the gape without breaking any hinges. True physiological adaptation relies on precise structural engineering. It is a much more sophisticated mechanism than an impossible fictional superpower. Beyond physical structure, we frequently underestimate the capacity of animal nervous systems and sensory organs. Despite the old idiom about being blind as a bat, every single bat species has perfectly functional eyes and is fully capable of sight. Fruit bats, or megabats, rely on highly sensitive night vision to navigate, while microbats use their visual input in tandem with their famous echolocation. We similarly downgrade animal cognition, repeating the tired old joke that a goldfish has just a 3-second memory span. Observe them closely, and you will find their memory actually spans several months. Goldfish can be trained to respond to specific cues and navigate complex spatial patterns. Mistaking these species for simple biological robots ignores the actual cognitive complexity required for basic survival. Why do we consistently invent and pass down these simplistic stories about the creatures around us? The mechanics of evolution, incremental mutations over thousands of generations, are incredibly difficult to grasp. A straightforward magic trick is much easier to digest. You see this perfectly with the chameleon, widely celebrated for using its color-changing skin as a magical invisibility cloak to hide from predators. The skin is actually a multifunctional tool. Chameleons shift their colors for complex social signaling, conveying their mood to rivals or mates, and regulating their internal body temperature. When they do display those bright, vivid colors, it happens in brief, calculated flashes to communicate, specifically to avoid staying highly visible to predators. As long as we view animals through cartoon physics, we overlook the specific incremental pressures of natural selection that define the species around us.